Hello everybody, and welcome to your Creating a Google Classroom webinar. We will go over how to access Google Classrooms, how to create a class, how to add students to your Google Classroom, and then finally how to add classwork to your Google Classrooms. So you'll log on to Google, and at the top right-hand corner of your screen, you will see 9 boxes that if you click that, it will give you tons of options. You will select the Classroom option, and it will take you to this home screen. From this home screen, you will click the plus icon at the top right-hand corner of your screen, and you'll see 2 options, join a class or create a class. We will cover what join a class means very soon, but let's create a class first. You can enter in whatever information is appropriate for you, but for the purposes of this webinar, we will name the class CKLA Assessment. Section will be fall semester. Subject will be CKLA, and the room will be 111. After you've entered in all of the appropriate information, click the Create button. After you create your Google Classroom, you'll be kicked to a page that looks similar to this. At the top of our screen, you will see a blue ribbon. At the center of that blue ribbon are 3 options: Stream, Classwork, and People. Let's cover what Stream means first. So think of Stream like a Facebook newsfeed. All updates, assignments, and due dates will appear here. This includes if students are having a discussion, if assignments have been added to the classroom, or if due dates have been changed or reassigned. And the People tab is where you can invite students to the Google Classroom and also add other teachers. So if you recall at the beginning of this webinar, there was an option to join a class along with creating a class. If your students would like to join the class without you inviting them, they can enter in code when they log into the Google Classroom after selecting the Join a Class option. If you would like to add the students manually, you can click the little person with the plus icon next to them and type in the student's name or email. For the purpose of this webinar, we will enter in the student's email, and it's very simple. Simply access an Excel spreadsheet or a roster and copy your student's emails. After you copy your students' emails, paste them into the email function and invite your students to your Google Classroom. The students will receive an email inviting them to have access to the classroom and will be able to access the stream and assignments moving forward. If you would like to add a co-teacher or a TA to your Google Classroom, at the top of the screen where it says teachers and there is a person with a plus icon, you can invite other teachers to have the same rights as you in your Google Classroom. Now, let's work on adding an assignment to our Google Classroom. On the blue ribbon at the top of your screen, you will select the middle classwork option. And from there, underneath that blue ribbon, you will click the plus create option. You will have a few options for what kind of classwork you would like to add to your Google Classroom. There's assignment, question, material, reuse post, and topic. Question allows you to ask a question to your students within the Google Classroom. Material allows you to add documents or videos to your Google Classroom. Reuse is recycling a post. And topic allows you to organize classwork into modules or units. For the purpose of this training, we will add an assignment. Click the assignment option. Make sure to title your assignment. We will title this CKLA Assessment Unit 2. There's an option to add instructions. If you would like to add a point value to this assignment, you are more than welcome to, as well as due date and topic. We will add an assignment utilizing Google Drive. Reason being is that all CKLA assessment documents will be dropped into your Google Drive. We will select CKLA Assessment, the second option here, and from there you will be led to the CKLA Assessment Google Drive. On this drive, there are folders for each grade, as well as general instructions, our meeting PowerPoint, and then some other documents that you will utilize moving forward. For the purpose of this training, we will not click into any grade. We will simply use the Google form here that is training CKLA assessment. Attach that to your assignments and turn off the grade importing function. Reason being is if the grade importing function is on, students cannot go back and edit or revisit their CKLA assessment. From there, we will click the All Students option, make sure that all students are clicked, and then click Assign. Your students will receive a notification that the assessment is in the classwork of your Google Classroom, and they can take the assessment from there. Given we are asking young students to take the assessments on the Google Forms, let's make it a little bit easier for them to enter in their information. Access the Google Forms document and make sure that you are on the editing portion of the assessment. Click in the box where it says name and change the structure of the question to drop down. Once you do that, you will be prompted with a 1 and 2. In number 1, you will see option 1. You're going to highlight option 1. Go back to your roster or your Excel document and copy the names of your students. Go back to your Google Forms and paste your students' names into the Google form. To send the form to the students, similar to how we selected the students from an Excel document or a roster, copy the students' email addresses and insert it into the To function. When this prompt comes up that says Send Form, make sure that the checkbox that says Collect Email Addresses is checked. This option allows the form to record the students' email addresses so they will not have to enter in their email address every time they would like to access this Google form. You can change the subject and the message of your Google form. And then if you click Send and this error occurs that asks for confirmation required, are you sure you would like to invite student users from outside Tulsa Public Schools? If your student is from outside Tulsa Public Schools, you can click OK. The reason that prompt came up for me in this is because student 1 through 9 is not an active email address for TPS. Let's observe the Google Forms and their functionalities. To access the Google Forms, you will go into My Drive and CKLA Assessments. From there, you will see that each grade is separated, and within each grade, it is separated by unit. Whichever unit your class is working on, that Google Form assessment will live in that folder. For the purpose of this training, let's look at our training assessment. Clicking on the Google Forms, this is what it will prompt you to. This is the view that the students have when they will be taking the assessment. If this is the format that you see the Google form in and you would like to see the questions or your responses, click the pencil icon at the top right-hand corner of your screen. When clicking that, you will be kicked to the edit function of the CKLA assessment. To view what the correct answer is for questions that can be graded digitally, the correct answer will be indicated by a green check mark. After students have responded, you can click the Response tab. Within this, you can see the insights of your classroom, so the average, the median, and the range. In the event you would like to turn off the assessment, you can click the Accepting Responses toggle, and it will turn off accepting responses from the students. There's 3 different ways to observe how the students did on this assessment. So again, within this summary, you can see how students answered. The correct answers appear in green, incorrect answers appear in gray. For short answer questions, you will see all of the responses, like for 4 and 5. The Questions tab allows you to view how the students responded by question. You can click through and see how the students responded by clicking the arrow, or if you know exactly which question you need to look at, you can enter in the number of the question there. If we are trying to grade things manually and you do not want to click through, go back and access the Teacher CKLA Assessment Guide, and from there it will tell you which questions have manual input. The Questions tab breaks down how students responded by question, and see how the students responded to question 1 here on the multiple choice. You can observe which students responded. So we have Gonzales AB, CKLA student, CKLA student 1. Now, question 3 is a multiple choice grid. So within this question, there are multiple answers that were given per one question. So if we look at new, this format, we can see how students responded here on this question. So 2 students responded with adjective and 1 student responded with noun. Since this is a multiple portion question, you can click on the next part of it, which is merchants, and the same structure will appear. For questions that need to be manually graded, click to the question, and each question that needs to be manually graded will have an asterisk next to it. We can see here how the students responded to the short answer. We can observe which student responded to the question by clicking on the one ungraded response. For this one, we have CKLA student 1, and you would enter in the points that the student earned in that portion. You can also enter in feedback by clicking the Add Feedback function. Here, we'll give the student some feedback. Save that, and then when the student receives their scores, they will see this note. Since the student answered the question correctly, we will give them a green check mark, and then it will assign them 1 point. Let's observe another one. This student did not answer the question correctly, so let's see who the student was. Let's pretend like CKLA student, his name is John, and we will give him some supportive feedback. Since the student did not answer that question correctly, we will click the red X box and it will assign 0 points. Make sure that you save the changes that you made as you move forward. Thank you for joining me in our Google Classroom and Google Forms webinar. If you have any questions or need any support, please reach out to Abbey Gonzales at gonzaab@tulsaschools.org. Thank you so much and have a great day.